The reason Betsy is the strongest member, well, he has been one of the strongest members on the side of Rocket. I would say Steelback is right now the strongest. Trundle ban is something we see very often on blue side because you don't want the enemy team to first rotation it on red side because then they can flex it obviously to 2 positions. Fnatic, you know what? They like to first pick Karma. So if I had to bet on any first pick at this point, I would say Karma. But we are in a meta where you can first pick almost anything and you can actually defend it. I've seen weird stuff like Hecarim being first picked in the LPL. They love it. But there's a reason behind it. Whoa! Karma, surprise!
You are single-handedly the best for predicting that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no. But Karma, obviously wonderful pick, something that YellowStar has enjoyed immensely. Febiven has flexed it once or twice into the mid lane, but I'm personally not a big fan of that. YellowStar and Rekkles, however, do love that Karma Ezreal bottom lane so much. Nearly impossible to kill that Ezreal when he's backed up by a Karma. So much mobility, so much safety, relatively guaranteed. But Roccat, pretty quick response back. They're blind picking the Gnar here as well as securing that Rek'Sai for Memento.
Oh, I don't think picking Rek'Sai right here is the smartest choice. I think, first of all, Elise is actually a better jungler right now with the Proto build. Also, it opens up for Gragas or Elise if you want the Elise. So Fnatic can now get scaling if they want to go Gragas, because Rek'Sai can't punish the Gragas. Or you can go for early game power and go Elise, and you actually then either win early or you win late. Like, Rek'Sai is just kind of in the middle, jack of all trades, doesn't really destroy the early game and doesn't really scale that well into late game either. It's just floating in the middle. So Fnatic has a lot of choices now when it comes to jungle picks. Only thing Memento can do on Rek'Sai is gank early on. And obviously we'll have a bit of a global pressure, which is something to highlight. Shen also being left open for Fnatic. They're getting a lot of good picks here.
Malzahar taken off the board as well, one of the top lane counter picks we see so frequently, and the bold early Gnar lock-in. I mean, kind of leaving top lane open and vulnerable to counter picks. You are going to see the Shen locked in. Of course, Gnar with that range. Sometimes this matchup is favorable. We've talked about this as a skill matchup. But either way, having that Shen open and available feels like a potential weak point for Roccat. Yeah,
the problem is Gnar doesn't beat Shen hard enough to make Shen useless. Like, he still offers a second global, which is extremely powerful. Roccat definitely aiming for comfort picks here. Raze was a massive LCS player back in Korea and was known as this shot-calling, engaged support who loved to play LCS and just went nuts. Whenever he had a chance, he would go aggressive.
And even last week in his performance, he was a fantastic Alistar player, consistently making aggressive engages, really opening the way for the team. And we look at the chain CC opportunities present here. Prey Seeker into the snare from Jhin. You've got the Gnar follow-up. You've got the Alistar combo. Roccat can definitely start a fight on their terms if they're ever given the opportunity.
So what does Fnatic want to do here? Do you want to go Kassadin and play 1-3-1? You can actually blind pick the Kassadin in the current meta. There's not that many counters specifically. Victor is another safe mid lane choice. We know Betsy has the pocket pick Swain as a potential last pick. Or you move to Karma mid lane. It's one of the new ones.
So this is interesting.
AD carry.
Kog'Maw, something we have seen in Korea a decent amount. We saw one game in the mid lane. Although I doubt we're ever going to see it. It was terrible.
It was
Power of Evil, please.
Bad to look at.
Yeah, so not going to see that this time. But it looks like Karma mid for Febiven, and this is looking like the old school protect the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, it is.
Little CLG protect the double lift throwback right here coming in.
So when you see a pick like LCS, you realize, okay, we're not going to struggle in the laning phase because LCS is not the strongest laner. So you can go for stuff like Tahm Kench, who's fine into melee matchups, protect the AD carry. And the reason Rekkles can go for this pick now is also because people have figured out a new build for him, and that is Wit's End, first item into Hurricane. And it's actually much better than going Rageblade, much better early damage
well, of course, they changed Rageblade completely.
Changed it as well. So it is actually pretty powerful, even on one item, when you start spamming away with your W proc, as long as you can protect it. And on the side of Roccat, there is obviously engaged on the side of Gragas. There is enough tools here to dive the backline. The problem is Tahm Kench is in the way every single time. Alistar combos forward. When you see the headbutt, just eat Rekkles every time. Gobble him in.
An interesting shift coming in here from Roccat at the end. I felt like they had the perfect tools to start team fights on their terms, and then they pivot in the last pick with this Kassadin, this split-pushing threat, but also a very vulnerable pick in the early game.
Yes, but I actually think Kassadin was a smart choice, because when you see a protect the AD carry combo with the Tahm Kench, you want to try and split-push against it instead of like 5-on-5ing it in the mid-game. That's going to be really difficult, so I actually like Roccat kind of breaking it up. They have Gnar with Black Cleaver on one side lane, Kassadin on the other side lane, play 1-3-1. But we know CFAT because we're working a lot right now on a specific thing about 131.
Oh, yeah.
So we know how hard it is
again.
to execute it. And Rocket right now needs to show us something they haven't shown all split long in order to win.
Absolutely, of course. As we get ready for our first game in here, head on over to Twitter. You saw it on your screen. You may have heard the summoner is disconnected sound as well. We're going to have a short pause here as players get ready. They wanted to give us more time, folks.
More time.
They wanted to give us more time.
Okay.
More time for you too. Twitter, at LOE Sports.
Kikis forgot to do his hair today. Sadly for him, I called it out, and then their manager decided to yell at me.
Yeah, he said, and I think I
do
remember
not tilt
correctly,
my players.
Stop trying to tilt the players.
And he was right. But
Yeah,
Kikis did forget to do his hair. We got it called out. Fnatic is a team who always cares about the hairstyles. In the past as well.
I love how no matter what you're talking about, you deliver it the same way. Like if we just looked at you and looked at the way you're speaking right now, people would be like, oh, he's delivering a really good stat.
Yeah.
If they couldn't hear the audio, and you're like, his hair not done at all. Unacceptable.
Kikis. Well, again, he got to get used to the new team. Of course, it takes time. I personally use about 5 minutes doing my hair.
I don't think you do your own hair, friend.
I did today. And that's why it's
that explains a lot.
It's pretty bad today. Yeah, I know. I had to hurry. Memento, he understands it. Look at that.
Just as an
Betsy
update, guys,
well.
we're just waiting for players to restart their clients, load back in. No crazy issues here yet. Just a short little break.
Are you jinxing it?
Yeah, probably.
Gonna come back. One of the PCs is just gonna randomly
literally be on fire.
Just be on fire.
Yeah, that's
Kikis
great.
runs around. It's like burning on his leg, running out into the crowd. Just predicting if it does happen. Do call me a prophet. But this pick and ban phase, Sifa, was, in my opinion, pretty good from Fnatic and very interesting with some of the new choices.
I got to say, Kog'Maw, a pick that we've seen rise up a little bit in the LCK. And
oh, definitely.
And I was curious when it was going to make its way to Europe, if it was going to make its way to Europe, and I'm excited to see it in the hands of Rekkles.
Yeah, and I like the fact it was picked in the last rotation. I don't think it's a pick you should lock in like very early, because you can draft these hard engaged compositions against it, and then it's really difficult to play.
Well, and as you mentioned, without the Alistar locked in, if you're against a ranged support in the early laning
you
phase, you're going to just get zoned so hard. Because obviously Kog'Maw is not immensely strong in the early laning phase, and Tahm Kench, as most melee supports are, is incredibly vulnerable to that kind of early harass.
Definitely so. So I quite like what Fnatic were doing. I think Rocket made a mistake in giving over Shen for free, and also early Rek'Sai pick kind of allowed Spirit to pick whatever he wanted in the jungle. So you have this like big front line now if you are Fnatic with Shen, Gragas, Tahm Kench. You got a utility mid laner who builds Athenes to add even more utility to Rekkles, who's just supposed to go crazy in this game. And we have seen Fnatic run these protective Rekkles compositions in the past. It was one of their reasons they actually won the summer split, where they had him on a Tristana and they were protecting him. He got a pentakill in Sweden. So he's definitely used to playing this solo carry style.
Absolutely. I'm really curious.
10 out of 10 on the hair as well.
Yeah. Hair game, on point. Curious to see how exactly this is going to work out for them. Once again, we've seen it in Korea, haven't seen it here yet, and honestly, it's not a pick I've seen too much of. I know the numbers are there from Korea, but I'm not sure exactly how this is going to play out. Wits End, as you mentioned, a curious new build.
Yeah, you last hit until you get Wits End.
Oh, good.
And
good
then
that last hitting is still a part of the build.
And then, well, you don't actually have to last hit. You can get gold other ways, but it's much faster if you do last hit.
Oh, I see.
And then you get Wits End, and you walk into the first team fight, you close your eyes, you press W, and doesn't matter what's in front of you, you just shoot at it. And that's basically how you play.
Right.
That's the simple version for everyone at home.
Remember when I said that it was just going to be this quick thing?
Yeah, I feel like you jinxed it.
I did jinx it. So we're actually going to remake the game. It's the same picks. It's the same bands. Nothing is changing. We got to remake it real quick, get the players back in there, and then get everything started off. So I was told about a minute and a half ago that would be 4 minutes. So we're getting there slowly but surely. And eventually, it'll be time for some League of Legends.
At some point, we got a pick and ban phase, the most hyped part about League of Legends. The crowd always goes crazy during pick and ban phase. And now you're too late to join the game.
Dang it.
All right. Same picks.
Oh, well.
Same bans, except Fnatic just banned Sona.
Yeah, I mean, and technically Rocket banned Garen, and there's a Galio ban, but...
I actually once tried one of these
Mordekaiser.
situations back in Season 2, where we just had to kind of remake it, and then some idiot, by mistake, banned one of the picks we were supposed to pick. And we had to remake again. And we wasted like 5 more minutes, and the admins were really pissed at us.
Well, luckily, everyone has picked their respective champions here. These are professionals to fish.
Yeah, exactly. That was a difference, you know. They're professionals at pick and ban phase, locking in the right champion. Except we sometimes see people misclick Teemo. or we saw in the NA Challenger final, where randomly Ramos support got locked in. So I'm not sure about this professional.
And I got to be honest, like that's obviously that was like kind of a controversial issue, but it's like maybe if it's game 5, you just lock in the champion you want.
Yeah, definitely. And
like I love it when they hover Teemo as much as the next guy, but after about 10 seconds of Teemo hover, like we get it. It's a joke.
It's one of the jokes that should have died out long ago, but the crowd still cheer for it. It's the
Like
same
wards.
when people kill wards, you know?
But see, I feel like we should have a top 5 ward kills montage for like how crazy the crowd gets.
Ooh, I mean, we've had times where we were at big events and the entire crowd were cheering for like a pink ward dying. But normally it's a signal that the game is really boring and nothing else is happening. So they just got to cheer for something, and then they pick like pink wards.
I like that idea, though, that our crowds are like so eager and ready to cheer that it's like, oh, all right, if nothing's happening, we have to cheer for something.
Yeah, but they're too cheap with the cheers. You got to save them for the good moments, right? Not just every single ward.
You're very critical.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at you guys today. I'm ready to see what they're doing. If we get one guy cheering for pink ward, I'm leaving the studio.
All right. I hope you guys are ready for some of the worst color casting of all time.
It's gonna be,
I'll be like,
you're
this
gonna
champion, he picked this skin, which is my personal favorite skin.
See? I'm not a skin man. Actually, I am on some skins.
That's just a weird statement.
Yeah, I'm not a skin man.
Not a skin man. Not a fan.
I do have skin, though. I do have skin. I will admit that. Man, can this game start? See if I pick him. No, let's do something else.
Okay.
Okay.
We were in America, the United States, my homeland, briefly.
Briefly,
Shortly.
shortly.
Enlighten me. What did you learn?
I learned that when you go to an American diner for breakfast, you actually eat so much that after getting your breakfast, you want to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Which is really, really wrong, because you're supposed to then go to work or something, but you just eat so much, like pancakes and what else? We get French toast, we got eggs, potatoes. Like, there was so much food, and we were just sitting there 4 casters. I think we ate enough for like 2 days.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
One meal.
I was so happy, and you guys
breakfast.
were like, what is this? Why did they bring us 30 pounds of food?
It was like you order 1 French toast, it comes with like a full plate of 3 massive French toasts for you, and like, there you go, for 1 person. I'm like, okay.
Well, and you forgot there's potatoes and eggs and all this other
of
junk.
course. Of course, we get everything. Another 3 minutes, guys. We hear it in our ears.
All right, this is perfect. So the American breakfast motto, now that we have 3 minutes, is not the meal is over, not over when you are full. The meal is over when you hate yourself. And I feel like that was the perfect description of American breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem is, again, when you're done eating and you have to walk back to your hotel, you don't actually want to walk. You have an issue there. You're just kind of stuck in place because you're just so full. You're going to turn around for this one.
Yeah.
Is the camera on us?
I don't know.
I don't know
That's the thing. We don't have a monitor behind us to tell. So hopefully you're engaged with us. This is Breakfast Talk with Sifa and Deficio. We know you came here for League of Legends, but sometimes you get a little bit more than you bargained for on the EU LCS.
Here in EU LCS 2, in our studio, we don't actually show the game. It is being played right now. We're just showing, the players on screen instead.
It's not being played, please.
We do not want to show what's happening on screen.
We know you're tired of lane swaps. We took that feedback, and we now cut that portion of the game out.
Yeah, it's a lane swap, so we're going to go, in about 15 minutes and join the game.
Yeah.
And out of the lane swap. And next patch, no lane swaps.
No, exactly.
We are going to remove... Well, actually, you know what? I would guarantee you teams are still going to figure out a way to lane swap. 100%. Wait, we got to join
I
the
don't
game
know, but
again.
how's it going to work? Because, I mean, this is actually something I'm really curious about. How is it going to work? Are we going to go no lane swap for the first 5 minutes, and then we're going to swap back into lane swap?
Potentially. I mean, so you got to keep in mind, if you do lane swap on 6:15, you will lose the bot tower guaranteed first, also giving away the extra gold, which obviously means you pay a price if you do lane swap.
And then if you swap...
So that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense because you're like, okay, I want to pick a composition that is stronger, or a 2v2 lane that is stronger, in team fights, but not as strong in lane. So you got to pay a price and not just go even with it. So that kind of makes sense, right? You pay around 500 gold. If you do go to the top lane, you lose the bot tower. The problem is not even the gold early on. It's actually the fact that the tempo advantage is so huge, which is great for me and Crepo, because we get a chance to talk more about tempo in these lane swaps, if they do still happen. But I think for the first week, we're going to see a lot of standard lanes. A lot of range supports are going to be played, obviously. And a lot of bot lane parties. The classic one, double TP down, jungler comes down as well. H2K just brought back Forgiven, so like they're ready for these bot lane parties because Forgiven love when there's 5 man in his lane.
Oh, this is going to be... I'm looking forward to the return of Forgiven. Obviously, it sucks for Freeze that his hand is damaged, that he's not going to be able to play, especially as we get so close to playoffs. But there's no lane swaps and Forgiven is back. Like this is the bot lane meta for EU. We're going to see a lot of talented bot laners trying to kill each other, and I'm a pretty big fan of that.
Again, it's going to be a lot of range supports, 2v2 lanes going at it. Talked briefly to Prolly. I'm like, Prolly, you are the king of lane swap. Are you crying right now? And he's a little bit sad, but he did tell me he will try and find a way. And I think every coach will try and find a way to like fit in a lane swap somehow. So you can pick something like, you know, Braum and whatever weak AD carry laner we have, and then you can go into team fights. Problem is, it's going to be hard to figure it out. But there's another thing that happened this patch, Sifa. Another thing that happened in America for us.
Is it time? Cloud Drake. This is the greatest part of our trip to the NALCS office. We come in. It's Sunday. It's the day for the NALCS, and like within minutes of us arriving, Jat approaches us and he's like, "So how do you guys feel about Cloud Drake? Cloud Drake's super good now." And then we're like, "Oh yeah, Cloud Drake is good now." And he's like, "It was always good." And then Freak comes out of nowhere, and then Kobe's like, "Are you guys talking about Cloud Drake?"
We actually got surrounded by NA casters. We were in the middle, sitting there, and they just attacked us with Cloud Drake statistics and how great it was. It is really good now. I definitely agree. I think it actually is a little bit too strong in the current state, because once you get 2 of them, 50 movement speed is pretty nuts. So it is definitely a good upgrade for the Cloud Drake, but it's also fantastic to hear the NA casters and how much they love the Cloud Drake.
I felt like it was the scene in Clockwork Orange where like our eyes were peeled open and we were forced to just watch hours of Cloud Drake footage.
I kind of pictured it as, you know, the Simpson episode where they're on the boat and the 2 monkeys are fighting each other. I want to see like Inferno Drake on one and Cloud Drake on the other, and then all of us standing around.
I pitched that as a PTL concept. I wanted to get you in an Infernal Drake costume, a Jet in a Cloud Drake costume, and have you guys just beat up on each other. Yeah. Turns out physical violence isn't always kosher entertainment.
I mean, PTL allows a lot of things, but apparently not that much.
Oh, we'll see. Maybe there'll be a chance.
Maybe it will happen. Maybe it actually already happened. We already recorded it, and we just kind of
We went through picks and bans just to update you guys. If you're just joining us, this is 6:14, not 6:15. It is not Breakfast Talk with Sifa and Deficio. It is, in fact, ROC vs. Fnatic. And we are just seconds away from starting the game.
Yeah, crowd is hyped.
Wait. Thank you. You guys are so good. You guys made it through Breakfast Talk.
I'm surprised you guys are still here. You could have left already. The game will start. The game will start. We are waiting. Pick and ban again. If you guys have completely missed it, Fnatic are running with their Protect Data Carry comp.
Oh my god, nice!
And we are loading into the game.
I like that look. That's a good grin, friend. Take pride in that grin.
Sifa, you want to do everyone a favor and run down the compositions?
All right, we'll do it. Fnatic, Shen in the top lane, Gragas in the jungle, Karma mid lane, Kog'Maw AD carry, and Tahm Kench support. Roccat bringing it back on the opposite side, though. Gnar in the top lane. Rek'Sai in the jungle. Had to pause there. You know, dramatic pause. Wait for it. Kassadin in the mid lane. Ooh. Jhin AD carry and Alistar support. So, Kog'Maw, the new hype. The Week 9 hype. We're mixing things up here. We got got some time till 6:15 rolls around, till everything changes. The 6:14 hype, though, is going to be that Kog'Maw.
Yeah, he might struggle in the next patch if there's a lot of strong 2v2 lanes. And I can, in fact, announce that the game is now starting. And we're actually going into the game.
Game 1, Fnatic versus Roccat. One more week of lane swaps, but will we see one today, Deficio? That is the first question we have to ask.
Well, let's see. We don't have to. You can definitely take standard lanes on both sides in this game here. Often when it's melee support versus each other. You don't actually, the one guy tried to start the Fnatic chance. Sorry, man. Sorry, not today. But as our Tahm Kench, not the most exciting 2v2 lane. It's a catfish and a cow. They do not normally engage in nature. And if they did, I don't think they'd actually do anything. It would be kind of weird if the cow was down the river fighting the catfish.
What? Yeah, I'm really glad that you're on top of this. Reminding us that League of Legends is not 100% real life.
Not 100%. Close to.
Yeah, like, if there were Yordles, they would not wear dinosaur suits. This is totally unrealistic.
We gotta pause, everyone. Yeah.
All right, we talked about breakfast. We've talked about the Cloud Drake ambush that was the NALCS office.
They tried, man. They even called it out on air. We were sitting in the crowd watching, and they were like poking us all the time. Going, oh, yeah, NA guys or EU guys, and they hate for Cloud Drake. To be fair, we overdid it a little bit.
Yeah, but they also overdid it on the praise, so I feel like it all came together.
We met in the middle. We balanced it all out. Luckily for us, we had Monty and the guys on our side when it came to criticizing the poor Cloud Drake. And right now, we're just waiting for Betsy to load back into the game.
Yep, he had problems pinging. Could not ping. We're looking into it. We're going to see what happens. In the meantime, though, let's actually talk.
Who needs pinging in professional play?
I mean, especially when everyone on your team speaks the exact same language, right?
Yeah. Communicate.
Two of them speak Korean.
Look at his necklace.
All right, let's focus up. Fnatic, ROC. ROC, obviously, a team that's been struggling. They're getting better. Now, Deficio, looking ahead, you've seen Misfits play.
Yes.
You've seen the proto-belt LCS, proto-belt Taric that they are now famous for.
Oh, of course.
How do you think ROC would stack up against them currently? What do we need to see improve from them if they want to survive?
Well, so it's always very, very hard to judge teams who don't play each other normally. It's the same with international competition. Like, is our third place team Fnatic better than like C9? Well, it's almost impossible to say because you don't watch them play against each other at all. Misfits and ROC to me is somewhat the same. Misfits look very good, but they look very good in a challenger scene that's been fairly weak this split, where no one has been able to compete against them like at all. It's not like Misfits plays perfect League of Legends. They just have some really good individual players, and they're very aggressive in their play style. So when you face an LCS team who's been practicing for 9 weeks against other LCS teams, there tend to be a big difference. Even if Rocket looks like the weakest LCS team, it doesn't make them necessarily weaker than the best challenger team. So I think it's going to be a very interesting match if they do end up playing each other. I think Misfits are really good. I want to see if the jungle change they made is going to help them or not. But playing on stage in promotion tournament, it is different. I've been there myself. It's really weird to play a promotion tournament because you play for your job. It's not the same kind of feeling as if you're sitting on stage, you're playing like a game against like G2 or Fnatic, where you're like, oh, I really want to show what I can do because so many people are going to watch. No, it's more like, if I lose now, my team might split up. I might not have a job right after. I don't know if I can just continue playing like solo queue and get onto a new team. So it's a really, really weird feeling. And that's why a lot of players perform much worse when they play a promotion tournament compared to like normal. So we have to see if Misfits can actually show up when it really matters.
Yeah, and of course, similarly, Millennium also remember that tournament, although they've looked a little bit weaker. And ROC, of course, there is still a slim chance for them to make it out at this stage.
Yeah, 2-0 against Fnatic is needed. So after today, we should be able to talk about it more realistically. If Fnatic wins game 1, Rocket is done so. They are promotion tournament guaranteed.
That's a rough life.
It is. I mean, it's not fun. No one likes it. Except for Splice, apparently. They liked it so much, they just decided to learn from it and get much better.
No, I think that's the thing, is they did not enjoy it. Now they're like, yeah, we're not doing that again.
That's fair. You guys turn around and say they didn't like it, so they decided to try hard to not go back.
That's all it took, right? It had nothing else. It was just effort. They're like, oh, yeah, I guess we'll try this split. Now we're in top 3.
You're like, oh, maybe it's fun getting some BO5s on stage. Nope. It is not fun. Instead, Splice are looking to be a top 2 team in Europe. Definitely not a statement I expected to make 9 weeks ago. And I realized, Sifa, here in Europe, us casters, we like to say every single week, we didn't expect this from week 1. Still surprising that this team is as good as they are. How are we still surprised 9 weeks in? I mean, at some point, we must get used to Splice being a top team. Instead of always being like, didn't expect this coming into the split, you know. Same for Rocket. We say it every week. Like, I didn't expect Rocket to be a 10th place team. Well, they've been down there for the last few weeks.
Maybe that's the sign we're not adapting fast enough to
I think that's a problem. We need to also adapt.
I feel like if Fnatic, God forbid Fnatic fans don't get mad at me, was at the bottom of the standings, we'd still be like, wow, it's so surprising that Fnatic are underperforming, even if they had like lost 15 games in a row.
Yeah, but I feel like if they lost 15 games in a row, like we could stay up to like week 6 or 7, and then we got to get used to Fnatic being a bottom team.
Well, we said, Rocket, but now Rocket lost a ton of games in a row, right? And I'm still like, I am so surprised. I thought Parang was so good.
What I'm saying, you're not adapting fast enough.
You're not adapting fast enough.
I'm saying Rocket right now have been, one of the weakest teams for like 5 weeks.
Yeah, but that's not what you thought at the start of the split.
I know I didn't think that at the start of the split. You couldn't look at this lineup and go like, oh, man, these guys, it's not going to work.
Hey.
Unpausing. It's happening.
It's happening. And I really think this time that it's for real, folks.
Let's get like an 80-minute game as well now. With the pauses, 80 minutes to dream.
Oh, my gosh. So remember when I said we were getting back into game?
It's paused again. I want us to stay for such a long time that all the trains stop running and no one can leave the studio.
And then we can hang out with all of you.
Yeah, slumber party in here.
See, we just want to get you guys maximum value for your tickets. We're like maximum amount of time in the studio. I mean, think. Are you really sad that you had an extra 10 minutes to look at Rekkles' face as he peers at his other teammates?
It is Betsy on the screen, though.
That is
it's
Betsy, too.
Another suite, to be fair.
Yeah, that's the downside. If you are not in the live audience, you don't get to pick who you look at. You are limited to what our cameraman will show you. Although right now it is the top of Rekkles' head. Yeah, look at that hair.
Man, this is definitely not the start I was expecting from these two teams. They've really been underperforming in this game.
Yeah.
A lot of pausing. We only played 1 minute and 22 seconds. And you know what, Sifa? We're pretty jet-lagged.
What's true?
So it's going to be definitely a long day.
It's, yeah, we were mispronouncing things earlier, both of us. It was great.
What? What have I ever mispronounced?
Nothing. You're right. You have flawless English all the time.
Thank you very much. You know, I actually wanted to... They're all trying to find Rekkles. I actually asked the catering for a potato today because I wanted to do a little fun thing. Sadly, we got breakfast, and so there's no potatoes.
Which is weird.
I also asked last week, and we didn't get potatoes either.
Because they were out of potatoes last week.
Yeah, so the 2 days I've been asking so I can do this little trick on air, they've been out of potatoes.
What is the trick? Run me through this.
Trick is I want to cast like Season 4, so I'm going to put a potato in my mouth, and I'm going to see if people can hear the difference. But there's no potatoes, so I can't do it.
So we'll never know if you've gotten better.
Maybe next week or tomorrow.
Who knows? Maybe we get someone to bring us a potato. We've certainly got time.
If someone in the crowd has a potato, please let me know. I would like to borrow it.
Like, the one guy's like, oh, yeah, I'm good.
Happen to have one here in my pocket in case you need
potato.
it.
Here you go.
There you go. A discount Pokeball. He's just throwing it at people. Are you a Pokemon Go man, Sifa?
No. I fell away from the addiction.
How?
Well, see, the beautiful thing about me being not a good adult is that I still don't have a German phone, so I don't have data in this country. So I was, like, hiding in the office and at my house, like, basically waiting for Pokemon to come to me. It turns out that's a much less riveting experience than, like, roaming around Berlin catching things. Makes
sense. I caught, like, 200 Pidgeys, and then I realized it's not what Pokemon is about. And then I deleted the game. Yeah.
I feel like we've come so far.
We are actually growing up here. We're not part of this young generation thing where they play Pokemon Go.
To be fair, now I feel like
we talk about League of Legends.
We're those bitter old men in Pokemon who like don't own Pokemon that you don't fight. Because like that's what we are, right? Because I mean, if the Pokemon universe was real, you would have Pokemon, right? Like 100%. There's no way you would give up Pokemon.
I'd be one of those guys you meet very early when you're playing the Game Boy version of it, who has like 6 Rattatas or something, and you're always like, why does this guy have 6 of the same Pokemon? It doesn't make any sense. Pokemon Go showed us why. Because if you just sit there in your own apartment, it's the only thing you catch, Pidgeys and Rattata. I'll be that kind of guy. Just send in one by one, and when one doesn't do anything, I'll put in another one. And by the way, in Pokemon, I realized, why do they never throw in multiple ones at the same time?
They do. It's double bat. I mean, you stayed too long in the one generation. They have...
Well, it's only one, yeah.
Yeah, it's like... There's also rules, Like...
What is rules?
You want more just like... You're like...
It's like random, I got 50 Pokemon.
You could beat him in a Pokemon fight, or you could just run up and steal from him and assault him. Like, Pokemon, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
Right. Tahm Kench is a Pokemon. It's just a weird one. And he's in this game. But he's not really in the game because we paused again.
All right.
Let's talk about actually Tahm Kench support, because I actually think it's very interesting.
Cool.
I actually really like Tahm Kench support because right now when you have melee supports, it's so little about the laning phase, and also because there's still lane swaps in the game, and you can very often like get at least a 60-70% chance of a lane swap. Tahm Kench gets past his laning phase, and then he's just so good in teamfight.
Well, you know what? I have some bonus coverage for you here. Vitality in our other game is using Tahm Kench support. So let's take this opportunity to look in on their game and see what's going on.
It's a game.
This is League of Legends. This is what you came for.
Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Apologies once again for the delays. Thank you so much for those of you watching online, and of course everyone in the live studio audience for sticking with us through all of this. We got to look into that game. We got to watch Vitality get eliminated. Pretty exciting.
That's why we watched, by the way, to see Vitality die.
If we're going to take this long, we might as well watch someone's dreams die slowly on the other screen.
Rockets could die in this game.
It's true.
If we ever start.
Yeah, spoiler alert. We're not quite there yet, guys. We think we have everything fixed now. I'm not going to make any promises like I did earlier because we're learning that that's not the right choice. But we are getting closer to getting into game.
Same picks and bans.
Yes.
So the teams are loading into the game right now. We believe it is fixed. I will make the promise. I will risk my reputation and say the game will start now. Same picks, same bans. Everyone is ready. 20 seconds on the clock. We get into game. We forget all about this, guys. You don't remember anything that happened for the last 30 minutes.
You just got here.
You just got here. It's a new day, new games.
Pretend that we did not talk about breakfast or Cloud Drake, because we're going to run out of things to talk about.
We will reuse
we're
it. You guys didn't hear it.
Yeah, rerun through everything.
Gotta make sure everyone gets a piece of the cake. True. Like American breakfast, where everyone gets a ton of cake. Well, to breakfast. I mean pancakes. Not cake. Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, you made the effort. Respect for that.
I've been here for 45 minutes already, and my brain is pretty fried.
It all goes together. Okay. Here's my hope, and audience, I hope you share a similar hope. Maybe we can do a little rain dance, not to jinx it, but I hope people just kill each other in this game. I hope it's just a constant stream of attack.
Talking about that, Sifa, I actually told you this earlier today. I had the stream.
No.
Yeah, I had the dream. You know, I only slept a few hours because of all the jet lag, but during those few hours, I dreamt that we were standing right here, and the crowd was over there, and randomly, you just got shot and died. In the middle of everything. And I don't know why it was you and not me. You see, the crowd likes it. I agree with the crowd. You, not me. And I just jumped under the table, and I was fine.
All right.
They're moving. They're moving.
They're moving. We can see it on our screen.
Come
you
on,
might
Betsy.
see it on yours.
Let's see if he can ping.
Oh, is he going to ping?
We'll see. They're still... No one has paused
They've
yet.
left the base. It's on your screen.
Running. Yes!
Oh, my God, it's game one. Hype. Good rain dance. Good rain dance, crowd. Bringing it together.
All right. All right, we're ready now. We're ready.
League of Legends.
All right, same picks as before, same bans, nothing changed, just 45 minutes later. This is because we don't have BO3 in Europe, so we decided to delay the first game, so we get that third game technically.
Want to give you the NA experience.
Yeah, you wanna have 3 hours for a full series and not 2 like in Europe.
I was going to say, the ultimate troll is like, just kidding, it's a bot game, we changed all the names. We're actually in another 5-minute pause. It's real, I swear.
All right, what do we got? Man, it's really weird now getting into the game. Like, you talk about the pick and ban phase half an hour ago, and now here we are. So Fnatic, protect AD carry comp.
Yep.
I was actually looking at this during the pause, and if you're Fnatic, technically a lane swap actually benefits you, because the way for Rocket to win this game is by getting Parang and Betsy ahead of the enemy laners, the 2 solo laners, so you can play 1-3-1. But now in a lane swap, kind of gets a very delayed Black Cleaver, where Shen just goes for like a Sunfire first item, and the first item for a tank is always way more effective than a straight up damage item with the way armor and MR works. You know, early stages when you get more armor, it increases more in terms of the reduction.
Yeah, the effective health goes up by a much larger margin. And of course, when we look at Shen too, Gnar significantly harder to utilize in terms of teamfight impact, because you have to play around that rage bar, whereas Shen, if he uses the Stand United into a Gnar lane, he's almost always going to be able to get through on that cooldown. Gnar has to be in Mega Gnar to stop that at all. And of course, even if he doesn't have items, that shield and that global presence is always going to be relevant. Now, we are kicking into the lane swap.
Hey, we got a lane swap, boys. So enjoy it. This might be the last week you get to see it.
Yeah, this is it.
In like 4 years or 5 years from now, you will tell your grandkids how you used to watch lane swaps. You get
and they'll ask you what a lane swap is.
They will ask you, what is a lane swap, Grandpa? And you will tell them how horrible it was to watch. To be fair, the current state of lane swap is actually not very interesting. I think last split's lane swaps were super interesting because there were so many small details. And also because you can use the Rift Herald buff. After we changed the Rift Herald, lane swaps kind of became really, really stale and not very interesting to watch. And that is where it all went wrong when we changed the Rift Herald.
Oh.
No, it's a screen, guys. It's just a
It's
screen.
just a change in color.
Yeah, we just...
No.
It's a 5-minute...
Look, it's a Rekkles cam.
Yeah, see? Wait, they're all looking at Fnatic. Someone from Fnatic who paused. Always look at where the cameraman is going, guys, doing a pause. You know which player
Rekkles
paused.
cam.
2 cameramen straight on Febiven. We know who did it. Look at that camera zoom. This is the man who just paused your game.
That's so cruel. Please don't angry tweet at Febiven. How dare you?
I just love it when you see like 5 players on one team always instant turn to the other team because they know we didn't pause. But guys, the game is restarting.
And apparently it was Betsy, not Febiven. Not an excuse.
Was it? Why did you look at Fnatic then?
I think we know why.
Yeah. We're just baiting you guys. We're back.
Anticipation here. Will Betsy finish this auto? Will we pause again?
Oh, he got the last hit. We talked about that earlier, see, for the importance of last hitting.
It's...
Ah, there it is again. And he missed that one. No, he got it. Did he miss it? I think he missed it.
Professional play. So you can see in the lane swap cams, towers are dropping, which is why we don't have to talk about this. You'll see who's going to finish first.
I really want to do like a super noob stream at some point.
That'd be fun.
Where you're like explaining the complete basics. You're like, so if he last hits the minion, he gets gold. And with gold, you can buy items. And you just start like really low. Obviously, the crowd in here, they're way too hardcore for that kind of stuff. They want us to talk about the big, important things. Like lane swaps. Yeah, right now, guys, the top laners are trying to get minions down in HP, and so they can last hit them, because otherwise they get no experience of farm, and that's the life of a top laner in lane swap.
Absolutely, and technically...
Life really sucks.
Technically, if Roccat are at all fast on taking the second tower, they actually are going to gain an advantage because Infernal Drake is on the bottom side, and they can take it.
Say the word. See, if I like to hear the specific word starts with a T in lane swaps.
Is it tempo?
Or say it in a different way.
Tempo.
Oh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Tempo advantage. Right now, there's none. It's even. But we just wanted to say the word. And yeah, there's an Infernal Drake. So if Roccat is rushing down that tower, they get it. Good for them. But Infernal Drake is not that great in the early game because it's % scaling.
Yeah, but that means it's relevant in the late game.
Had it been a Cloud Drake, like the NA casters we talked about, instant value right there. But no, we get boring Infernal Drakes here. I've completely turned around. I now hate Infernal. And I love Cloud Drakes. I do actually love Cloud Drake. It is really good. All right, let's see what happens. Wait. Why is Spirit on bottom side
All
here?
right, so Memento's pushing in. Spirit has a level advantage, does a lot of damage with that initial combo. Trades back and forth. Not committing to too much, of course. The tower trade's continuing in the meantime, but Spirit getting a little cheeky here. He wants a little extra aggression. Onto the ground. Crab, rat. What is Rek'Sai? Lizard?
Have you seen Stranger Things?
No.
Okay, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But I'm pretty sure he's from that series. You should check it out.
I feel like that spoils a little bit of the series that you just mentioned that thing exists in the series. Given that the cover image is definitely people.
It's a valid point. I'm sorry if I just completely spoiled some of it. I spoiled. No,
look,
it's not that important. It's not that important.
Now even in tempo are going to move in as Betsy gets exhausted here, and YellowStar, he's going to help him take a little nap.
Eat him!
Oh, first blood.
No pauses here. You can't pause after this. You can, but we don't want to see it. Betsy goes down early in the lane swap. We get a little bit of action. You wanted to see kills.
I did.
Seifer, here you go. Are you happy that Betsy went down?
I was caught a little off guard. I thought YellowStar was going to eat him for like the bloodthirsty support steal. And given how much we've had to fill today, I would not have minded taking a little Doa quote with the bloodthirsty support.
That is very true. Star Wars, Star Wars.
Skin ideas. Names for alternative rock bands.
To be fair, I actually quite enjoy.
Yeah, it's great fill. Like, definitely.
We just had half an hour. It is very, very difficult when you gotta find
infinite
stuff.
Props.
And I'm still mad. No one from the crowd has given me a potato yet, and you guys have had half an hour now.
Really, there is a cough land up the street, guys. I mean,
there is. You could have rushed up there, bought the potato, went back here, given it to me. I could put it in my mouth, and we could do my little Season 4 thing. But no, here we are, and we get to cast normally. And we get to watch Raze walk straight into the enemy jungle. Ooh, Sifa, he's setting up a trap.
Oh, YellowStar and Rekkles are stepping forward.
Ooh, the adventures.
That's an escapeless Kog'Maw. Is he going to get in YellowStar's mouth? Moving forward? Nope. He's taking the time. TP comes in. Raze, headbutt pulverized. YellowStar burning down. Thick skin still up and available. And Rekkles is just unconcerned. The little lizard
2v3,
go.
they're still running.
Oh, Steelback running forward. The fight continues. Oh, now YellowStar, great patience. Gonna spit him out and back into the fight. He wants the kill. Oh, he makes it out. Betsy moving forward. That's the double for Rocket. Great execution.
Rocket had like no damage down the bottom lane. Almost 2v3'd them on the side of Fnatic. Betsy showed up in the end, picks up a kill. He's already back in the mid lane. It's one of the things that happens when we have these lane swaps. You open up the map very quickly. We saw it in the Vitality game. The crowd here has been watching, obviously, for the last few minutes. Open map as well means that suddenly you can set up these ganks in the bottom lane. Okay, let's see. So TP comes in from Febiven. He instant cancels. Actually gets interrupted. Never mind. He gets interrupted by Betsy. So Betsy's the big hero here. Stops the TP, then walks down to the bottom lane. And 2v3 kiting them.
Oh, I like this. So YellowStar eats him up, and you can... Rekkles is just like, I can do it.
I wonder if YellowStar had cooldown on Devour there. Otherwise, if you managed to eat him during the crit from Jhin, it would have been way more effective. This is Betsy right now. Live camera of 2 mid laners. This is what we show here. We got the hype cameras.
Cold, expressionless hype.
That's what I like when they're like pentakill and we showed them. They're like, oh yeah, I got a pentakill, I guess. While they're actually screaming, because we can hear the players scream sometimes.
That's the best part.
Stage.
Oh, I like that. Little fancy footwork coming in from Raze. Trying to sidestep.
If we could stop, obviously, going off screen all the time so I could actually talk about the game, it would be great.
I'm sorry to derail you constantly.
That's what I'm saying. Fnatic's composition is a 1-4 composition, which is very, very interesting against Kassadin. Because if you fall behind early as a Kassadin, you can't really stop the enemy team from pushing out one lane with the AD carry and then move the AD carry to mid and just sieging on the Kassadin. Like Fnatic is doing right now, but you can go kill him.
Rekkles does still have flash, though. Patience in the last fight is going to help him win out there. Memento locked down. Raze trying to body block. Does he have enough range? Cask! Spirit going to clean that one up. And they're not done yet. They're pushing for more. Snare lands down onto Spirit. And Febby going to style on the opposition as he grabs that kill onto Raze, dropping the tower in the meantime.
We get a lot of action here despite being a lane swap. Very early towers going down. Fnatic, as we talked about before, got to group in mid lane against the Kassadin. And then Kassadin is useless. He can do nothing but sit there and watch you kill his tower and his teammates at the same time.
Yeah.
He's a very selfish champion. Yes, you have your fancy mobility, but no one else does. Doesn't make you better than anyone else, I'm just saying. Look at this.
Rekkles drops so low here.
Yeah, problem is now Memento has no flash. He goes and gets snared by Febiven. Febiven right now has just been untouched. Like, he's just kind of sitting on the side. And Raze goes down as well. Great little shot around the minions.
Yep, and still only level 4 for Raze, so very vulnerable without Unbreakable Will. Of course, one of the disadvantages of the lane swap is that these champions who really need level 6, supports at least, takes them so long to get there.
Yeah, and I want to see some Ruby Sidestones. I think it's a great new item for supports. New is maybe not the correct term anymore.
Oh, they're jumping. Febby getting engaged on Snare, goes down. Curtain Call comes in. One shot. Memento looking for the knock-up. 2 going wide. 3 going to miss. 4. Is it going to land? No, the body block from Kikis.
Rocket trying to set up something in the mid lane. I think Febiven was a little bit disrespectful dancing around so far out against 3 members. This stay alive, got the Shen ulti from Kikis. One of the things we highlighted in the Champ Select 2 years ago was that giving Fnatic the Shen pick as well in that second rotation, I really don't understand. You ban 2 top laners and then you're like, you want the S tier top laner? Here you go, my friend, that's yours. I'm like, why even ban 2 top laners then? He would probably taken the Shen anyway if you're just going to give it to him in the second rotation.
Potentially questionable strategy coming in as the Shen. I mean, currently 0-0-0, but has obviously done a lot to keep the team alive.
Yeah, let's rate his performance on his score here at 11 minutes.
Well, clearly, Febiven is doing some work.
He is. And look, guys, Wit's End for Rekkles. This is the new build. Wit's End into Hurricane. And you do a lot of damage when you shred MR. One thing about Fnatic's composition here, the smart viewer has already noticed, it's a lot of magic damage. It's a classic statement as a color caster. It's a very simple statement to make. But when you go Wit's End, you do remove a lot of that MR, actually making it a little bit more effective. But it can still be an issue for Fnatic if Rocket gets to stack a lot of MR items. Abyssal Scepter can come in. We're going to see a Maw, most likely from Parang. Rekkles will still shred some armor and magic resist.
Interesting kind of pivot coming in here from Parang on the top side of the map. We talked a lot about Black Cleaver first item. He has instead opted for the Frozen Mallet. I mean, what do you think this is going to offer Although Memento may have to wonder himself as he's having to run out here.
So I'm not against Frozen Mallet now. I think it's very strong in a lot of matchups. But I think if you're against someone who's going to early stack armor, Black Cleaver is just so much better for you. Frozen Mallet is the item if you're against something where you want to be able to either kite them or chase them. Shen doesn't offer any threat against Gnar right now. They're not going to like try and directly kill each other. You're actually playing Gnar in this matchup to push down the Shen. And that's where Black Cleaver is more effective for the one-on-one. But Infernal being started by Fnatic, we will get a team fight, Sifa.
Moving in, TP's coming in. Spirit suddenly caught in the middle of this, but they are going to be set to smite this one down. No contest coming in. Fnatic are getting a perfect collapse. Curtain call comes out. Shots going in. Dragon hasn't dropped yet. Spirit going to grab it in the end. Febby set to fall. Nam says no. Moving forward, Parang now moving down. Betsy going to get burned through. That Rift Walk is not enough as he gets caught out. Is he going to hop away? No. Hops into the mouth. They're going to look to make it the 2v2 AD carry versus support, but have they bit off more than they could chew? Oh, flash over the wall, flash back. YellowStar saves the day as he runs out. One more shot. Gets the crit. Steelback with the style to close out. Passive comes in, Raze set to fall. Steelback hungry for more, but has he overstayed his welcome?
Yeah,
Shen coming in. Last shot, the double! My God, we asked for blood!
That's fine. Wait, Memento's still here. Oh, there's a TP coming.
TP! Party never stops, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to keep going. Spirit flashes over the wall. Kikis moving in, trying to block the auto attacks. TP coming in from Fnatic. Febiven is on the way too. Are they ever going to stop fighting? I certainly hope not. Kikis dropping lower. Spirit,
yes,
no, Febby doesn't make it fast enough to the party, and now he's all alone. Betsy moves forward, gets a little bit of damage down. Knockdown coming in. The trap from Jin, a leftover that's going to win them the kill, and now Spirit, he's going to run out, and after an insane amount of back and forth, the fight finally closes.
Bit of a sloppy ending on the side of Fnatic. Febiven joining with the teleport, and Spirit was already out of there. And then suddenly he tries to take down the full HP Kassadin. But before that, this replay, look at Rocket here. What are they thinking, trying to engage onto Spirit? Like, what's the point in LCS using his combo on the Gragas, the tank, in the front? That means your engage is now gone. You have no threat in your front line, and it's very easy for Fnatic to jump in, start the fight. Febiven almost goes down. YellowStar with a good devour.
And this is...
But this was just too easy and nice little crit in the end. But,
I mean, look at Steelback this fight, though. This is...
See, so this is where it gets a little bit weird. So they think they can 2v2, Steelback with full HP. And YellowStar jumps in, gets headbutted over, flashes back, realizes you can't win the 2v2. Loses the 2v2.
Yeah, Steelback flash, auto, dancing grenade to close that one out. And then
Steelback ended up getting a few kills from this. Could have just been a one team fight and Infernal Drake from Fnatic. Ended up being quite some kills for Rocket. We have 14 minutes into this game, guys, and there's 8 kills on the side of Fnatic and 7 on the side of Rocket in a lane swap. Like, that almost never happens. Look at this top of your screen, a lot of dead people lying around. And then here's Febby. I'm not really sure. Spirit, look at Spirit. He's doing the Rift Scuttler. Realize, oh, I don't want to do the Rift Scuttler because Febiven is here. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not out of here.
I guess didn't have any mana.
Make up your mind.
Maybe wanted to go get some mana. Maybe not the right choice in the end.
No, and also don't go for the Kassadin there with full HP. Go for the Rek'Sai.
And look, at the end of the day, 8-7. 1 Infernal Drake apiece, but Fnatic are up a tower and they are up 4k gold. So still a massive lead in their favor as they start to push in here. And you can see how much damage Rekkles already does.
That's the thing. 1 item now for Rekkles, and he's strong as long as YellowStar is next to him and can devour him. Raze needs to hit both Tahm Kench and Rekkles at the same time.
Oh, that's a way to start a party. Rocket getting burned through. Raze the sacrificial lamb in the end. Gonna body block these shots out, but that was some explosive play.
Yeah, I was looking at Fnatic in their wins and losses. There's one player on their team who in 90% of their games are playing fantastic League of Legends, and it's Spirit. He's honestly been one of the best players in Europe this split. This game, of course, is the Spirit show completely on this Gragas. Starting fights, picking up kills, he's everywhere at the moment. Great setup from him, and he's really been the consistent member. Yes, he had a poor week after Gamsa got removed. Or not a poor week, he had a...
Poor by his standards.
Poor by his standard week, that's fair to say. Now he's getting caught
locked
up.
Up now. Team collapsing on him. Karma providing the shield that you can. Shen is on the way in. So is the Mega Gnar, though. Parang may be ready for a fight. Rocket are going to have to back off here. But as you're saying, I mean, Spirit Got caught once, did make some mistakes in that fight, but for the most part has been a standout player, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And for Memento, you got to think, this guy, new jungler, young on the team, young in the LCS, and he's going up against a grizzled veteran. Spirit, of course, with just an insane career.
Quite a resume.
Yeah.
LCK, LPL, EU LCS. He's been upgrading along the way, as you can see, on his way to EU LCS. He's moving up the ladder.
Yeah. Really the top, touring the top regions,
I mean,
we're honest.
you got to start in the LCK and get a bit of experience, then you move to LPL, a little bit more controlled, consistent region, and then you take the step further and you join the Pantheon, EU LCS.
Among gods,
Among
truly.
legends and gods like YellowStar on this Tom Kench.
World champion YellowStar.
World champion, season 1 world. No, wait, he's not a world champion. What? You just lied to me. You made me say he was a world champion. Baited me. No world champions on this Fnatic lineup, but the organization is. Does it still count, season 1 world championship? I guess it does. A lot of people like to say it doesn't count, and it's from season 2 you look. And you count that, but I think that's a lie.
I think the game evolves so much every season. I think every world championship has to have, worth. Or you can really only look at the last year. But gonna have to see a Fnatic. A lot of pressure on them as we approach Worlds this year. A team that did so well to make it into the top 4 for Europe in recent seasons. Such a pride point.
A team a lot of people thought would make the final, honestly. I think Fnatic last year was the best chance Europe have had in multiple seasons of making the final, ever since season 2, where it was M5 and CLG EU, where people were like, okay, one of these two teams should make the final. They both obviously dropped out in the semifinal. And on the side of Fnatic, same thing, dropped out semifinal. If people remember the semifinal against the Coup Tigers, they actually had a really good game 1, and they were looking really, really strong. Then they completely messed up a tower dive. A Rainover flashed back in on the tower, lost that little play, and therefore lost the early game and ended up going down 0-3. Topside Kikis, he doesn't care. He wasn't part of Fnatic back then. He is now, and he definitely wants to go back to Worlds.
Blocking the third stack on that Hyper. And as you said, that's, when he talked about G2, when we looked at them in the spring season, what they had was a roster, and that when they picked up this bot lane, they knew that they wanted to go to Worlds. Now, of course, Kikis no longer a member of that lineup, but is a member of Fnatic.
And we get another fight here, Sifa. Rocket is moving in. Look for Rekkles in these fights here.
TP coming in. Spirit is going to get it, but he's left alone in the pit. Raze moving forward. Shen all guaranteed to land now, and the interrupt on the curtain call. Moving in, Parang. Auto's getting blocked. They're moving forward for more. So many members with low health. Fnatic are backing off perfectly. Rekkles buying time here. Scared to step forward. Betsy ready to threaten the back line. Febiven moving in, but the Rift Herald moving in, and now Rocket getting more. Betsy burning down. Fnatic are taking control. Spirit is on the front line. He wants to get Parang knocked back into the wall. Hop to safety. Steelback's going to have to flash out, but Fnatic aren't done yet. Barrel forward. Parang running for his life with the mini-Gnar speed boost.
Rekkles has no mana.
He is going to make it out 22 health. Parang making it to safety.
There it is,
No! Spirit unstoppable.
Spirit the hero again in these fights here, but also very nice kiting from Rekkles and the rest of Fnatic. Don't think he got to even auto attack for the first 20 seconds of that team fight, but that's fine because all you're doing is just constantly waiting for Rocket to overextend, and then you take them down. We're going to get another one of these long fights.
One fight never enough for these lineups. They're looking to make it a double. But Fnatic are now 5-man strong. Down some cooldowns. Memento, he could be caught out, but Betsy's on the back side. Kikis moving forward. Fnatic poised to back off. Memento still looking for the flank. Steelback. Prey Seeker going to land. No deadly flourish coming out. Fnatic going to back out unscathed in that exchange and extend their gold lead to 6,000.
And the teams learned from before. So look at this fight here. If you're Rekkles, you need to understand that you can't just sit in front line and deal damage. So that's why he's okay just kiting. He got like a few auto attacks first, and now he's not been hitting anything. Just only look at Rekkles here. He's not hitting anyone because he's waiting for Rocket now to overextend one by one. And by them jumping on Febiven, that allows Rekkles suddenly to start hitting and dealing damage.
Party's not done though. Spirit looking to make something happen. Raze running for his life. Kikis is on the flank. Looks like Raze is set to fall. Another pick for Fnatic as they pick it up and head down the mid lane. Rocket.
And this Rocket comp here, Sifa, we mentioned it. Again, 1-3-1 compositions with Kassadin. If they start falling behind in the early game, you just have no control. Because you need 2 items to be really impactful on Kassadin to really take over a side lane. But up until that point, the enemy team can just push in the side lane with AD carry support and then move them to mid lane and start sieging on these turrets. That's what happened very early. Betsy is here for a flank, and that's why Rocket have been trying to fight their way out. But the problem is, it's really hard to execute these fights here. If you have some underfarmed members on the side of Rocket, first of all, it requires great coordination, which they don't have as a team. And second of all, you want items on this Cassidy before you can deal damage.
Oh, Rekkles in trouble. Parang goes in. YellowStar says no. Curtain call going to go out one more time, but not going to find a target.
And there's one thing that really tilts players and viewers. It's watching these like protect the AD carry comes with Tom Kench. Where like no matter how good of a setup you have, and you catch out the animated carry, he's like, nah, you don't. And he just eats him, spits him out. It requires 0 skill, by the way. Any member in the audience could go on stage and devour Rekkles right now. In-game, not outside of the game. In-game. And then suddenly, you actually save the AD carry. It requires positioning, so YellowStar's been very good in this game with that. But pressing W on your AD carry is pretty easy. It's like playing Luna support, like I used to do.
The good old days. Really get your blood boiling.
Yeah. You just consumed me with that joke.
Oh my god. I didn't think you'd follow me into the abyss, and there you are.
I don't know. We're just doing absolutely 0 with this. Let's move on.
All right, Memento running. I'm trying to. I was impressed.
What's the last ability? Ice Blast?
Ice Blast, Ice Ball.
Whatever Snowball is called.
Snowball. Luckily, no Nunu. Don't have to know those abilities for at least, hopefully, a few more metas.
Well, we did see Trick pull it out and disco his way to a victory. No, he lost actually that game.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he lost.
Nunu turned out not to be a good pick.
What a surprise!
I learned so much watching professionals play.
Yeah, do not try that at home, everyone. It's decent in solo queue. No, you can actually take out the enemy jungler.
Let's really take stock of where we're at, because Fnatic are continuing to grow this gold lead, 13-8. They have the additional Ocean Drake. A mountain is on the way. Exactly where they want to be in terms of dragon stacking. And what did Rocket really do at this point? You said that they need that casting to be ahead to start splitting, but now that that's not an option, what really can they do? Well,
that's the thing. If you're Rocket right now, you're going to have to try and outplay Fnatic in team fights. Like, it's kind of your only way to win. You're not going to get time to just sit and play 1-3-1. And by the time you've actually spread up in every single lane, Fnatic should already have pushed in a lane somewhere, have pressure in one lane at least, and just force you to then come in and try and team fight them. And that's the problem when you fall behind and lose map control in 1-3-1, is you never have time to set up multiple lanes at the same time, and you need two winning lanes. You're never going to have that. So it's going to be Rocket punishing Fnatic for maybe a greedy Baron call, Memento stealing the Baron and winning a team fight after. If YellowStar and Rekkles are separated, Fnatic lose both, last split where they were separated, and in this game, because you need YellowStar here to save Rekkles every single time. And also deliver him to the bottom lane.
Exactly where they want to be. Parang now running for his life. Gets a little bit of a speed boost there. Throwing the boomerang to buy time, of course. Does have the frozen mallet. Should be able to kite this out, but Kikis doesn't want to let that happen. Moving forward, Rekkles slowed down. Parang actually, good use of the cooldowns to slow these guys out. And maybe able to walk away.
He's just running now. He's going to buy even more time. If Rocket can push mid tower here, they might be able to get a little bit of gold.
Kikis continually threatening Parang. YellowStar moving up, hoping to get the tongue down. Isn't going to land it. Nice range nerf coming in to save Parang on that one.
Oh, here's Febi.
Oh, no. That's a karma.
Jump the wall.
Throw it. Makes it over the wall. Of course, Febiven's just going to walk through. Flash in for this one. Doesn't want to waste any more time. Meganar's on the way. No time to push a button. No bonus health.
And Fnatic managed to defend mid tower as well. So nothing going on there, Sifa. It looked very exciting. It was not. But
I thought it was exciting.
Parang, I don't know about this build. I mean, I agree with getting early MR against all the magic damage from Fnatic, but I think you're too weak in a side lane now as well. Obviously, you're behind, so you gotta adapt. You gotta go, for more tanky items because you got a team fight. So I can't really fault him for the second choice specifically, but he's just too weak to really threaten anyone in a 1v1. He's not gonna deal any damage right now to this Shen. So again, we're gonna have to wait for Rocket to win team fights. If they wanna have a chance of getting out of promotion tournament, they have to turn this around and win this game.
Spear may be caught out, though. Memento not going to push any further. And Rocket really running out of options. Relegation bound at this stage unless they can turn this game around.
2 splits in a row where Rocket has dropped down to relegation. Last split they managed to re-qualify. Different lineup, very different lineup. Back when they had Steady Freddy in the top lane. Now they got not so steady Parang, who's honestly been, I'm going to say, Not inconsistent,
He's
but
been pretty bad.
not,
Yeah.
individually, he's been okay.
He's had good games and bad games.
Exactly.
But I think
for Rocket as a team, he's been bad, yes.
Yeah, I think the Jace picks, him trying to find out how to be comfortable, it's clearly been a struggle for Rockhat as a whole. Now, why is he underperforming? We're not sure. Can't say. Multitude of factors. Could be communication. Could be individual performance, but definitely been a struggle for a lot of Rockhat, and Praying no exception.
All right, Fnatic, it's time to set up Baron. Just clear on vision. You're not ganking the castle, and it's fine though. They're just making a quick rotation to top side, catch the wave. I
Maybe
quite
hoping
like
to push
that.
in more.
But
They do have the banner command.
Ooh, there's a lot of pink wards in the jungle from Rocket. They can actually
And
sneak
Rockhat
in.
are looking for the flank. Rekkles.
Yeah, they're coming.
YellowStar running to his AD carry, trying to get the protect. Lots of poke coming down, speeding him out, trying to save time. Raze interrupted. Spirit getting burned down. Shut down for Rockhat. Fnatic, have they overstayed their welcome? Tower does drop in the end. Banner of command making it easy, but flash in. Shen's on the way in as well. However, YellowStar going to make sure he gets the delivery. Headbutt coming in. Rekkles exposed. Rekkles in the back lines. He's caught out. Steelback so much damage. Dustblade procs. Down goes the AD carry. The double kill for Steelback. And Rockhat are cleaning up. To relegations, not yet, they say. Absolute domination in that team fight.
But again, we talked about it just before. Fnatic stepping forward, pushing that tower without really proper vision around them. So Rocket got multiple members in a good position to set up a flank, and then they did find the right team fight. Spirit also got ban of command on this Gragas. So not as tanky as he maybe expected, but it's too easy for Rocket to move in here and actually get a flank, and then just take down Spirit. Rekkles again, he's really far back because he knows he has to respect all the engage from Rocket. Now he gets some damage down, takes some Memento. But now, you've already lost your front line. Rekkles goes down as well. Dustblade, value from Steelback, who's playing another great game where he's just sitting in the back, getting multiple kills for his team. And really, it's about 280 carries here, trying to carry the team as hard as possible.
I mean, when we look back at that fight, too, the battle of supports, YellowStar trying to devour Febiven to save him, leaves Rekkles open and vulnerable, and Raze just instantly capitalized on that opportunity. The headbutt pulverize, knocking it. Knocking Febiven, or rather Rekkles, back into the team just makes it so easy for them to clean up.
Yeah, and this is just a good example of Fnatic kind of skipping a few steps in what they wanted to do. Like, do you want to push the tier 2 top tower? Good. Clear out the enemy pink wards in the jungle next to you then, so you have vision. So you can see the LCS, you can see the Rek'Sai when they're moving up to try and kill you. And you then know when can you back away, when can you stay, when can you hit the tower. Much easier for you then to play teamfights where you know where the enemy is coming from. But here it's just kind of a little bit too quick for them. Another engage.
Oh, another opportunity to go in.
Rekkles.
No, YellowStar doesn't even eat him. He eats the wrong target. A misclick costs them the fight as Rockhat are now pushing forward. YellowStar drops. Rockhat take control. They're going to get a mid-tower, but how much more can they get? Fnatic, they need to stop the bleeding. 2 members down. Rockhat barreling down the mid lane.
Have to surrender this tower here if they can just stop Rocket from getting a Baron. And Fnatic will still be in the lead, but another really risky situation. 2 members hiding in a bush. Your AD carries hiding in a bush there, and suddenly Raze sees everyone and engages. They were standing on a ward, surely, on the side of Fnatic. Really not sure what's going on right now. They could have just set up for that Baron very safely, have full vision of the enemy team. Yeah, Raze just puts down a ward. He sees Rekkles. Look at this, guys. He puts down a ward. Rekkles is standing near the wall, doesn't respect the engage at all. And then, because the Gragas is on top of them, YellowStar devours him. Much bigger model, obviously. And suddenly, AD carry goes down.
And we can nitpick over mechanical mistakes there for Fnatic, but there's really no reason for them to be there in the first place.
No, you have your side lanes were being cleared by Febiven and Kikis. If you're an AD carry, especially a low mobility one, you have no reason to step forward there and actually place a ward or try and hit the Gragas, or sorry, the LCS. Don't think he had any wards on him, but he stepped forward to hit Raze. Just got engaged, so suddenly Rocket been getting a lot more gold. 3 items on Kassadin now, 4 items soon on Steelback. He's very strong on this Jhin. And we talked about how Rocket just have to teamfight their way back. They can never split push in this game unless they start, getting more and more teamfighting wins. right now, they just have to try and stop this Baron.
Oh, bold calls coming in. TP coming in for Fnatic as well. And really, there's no position for ROCCAT to contest. Memento, is he going to be able to get the steal? It's going down. Baron so low. Spirit going to take that one away. Raze, has he overextended? Febiven suddenly left alone. Rekkles, is he safe on the backside? Such a big shield. Curtain call coming in. One shot on the YellowStar, two. Finding home. The third shot on to Kikis, the fourth. Where will it land? Rekkles vulnerable. Sidestep to save it out. Spirit on the front lines now. ROCCAT may have overextended in this fight because Fnatic are still alive and well. Spirit goes in, the flash body slam. They're pushing for more. Defiance comes out to shield the team. And now they're left vulnerable to Rekkles as he rips through the back line of ROCCAT. Memento tries to make his way out, but a fail flash.
Whoops.
And a final barrage, or a death sentence for them in the end.
And this is what we wanted to see. See for Fnatic starting the Baron. Great ulti from Spirit to knock Memento away so he couldn't try and steal it. To pick up the Baron and then walk back. ROCCAT had to chase through a choke point to get to Rekkles in the backline. That was impossible. And they die, lose the Baron, lose the inhib. And Fnatic is back. Don't worry, boys. They are still in a great position to win this game. Massive gold lead. Just had to fiddle around with some weird team fights before they decided to actually make the correct call and just take the Baron.
Better to make mistakes here than on the playoff stage, but Fnatic definitely need to tighten up a little bit. Of course, that team fight in the end, very well executed across the board.
Febiven he's a good teammate. It's like, Rekkles, my friend, I will let you carry. He's just building full support karma. No penetration or anything except for his boots. So he's like, Ardent Sensor, gonna buffer you there. Athene's gonna help you there. Death Cap for stronger shields. So look at this here, great setup from Spirit. Absolutely perfect ulti from him. Picks up the Baron, and now, if you're Fnatic, all you have to do is just kite back and protect Rekkles. So by them stepping into the choke point now, ROCCAT can't really keep chasing. They're only able to hit the front line, and that's the worst thing for ROCCAT, because then Rekkles will find time, and great little sidestep. He will find time. Look at this flash from Steelback as well. Predicting the flash body slam from Spirit. That's great reaction time. It's very hard to do. To see the body slam, you flash yourself when he flashes. But sadly for Steelback, not enough.
You can see in the picture-in-picture as we watch
That's
Memento
not how you flash.
fail that flash one more time. It's a rough life for the jungler there. You can see ROCCAT looking to set up the flank. They aren't going to find the opportunity. And that last damage, it's all about the Kog'Maw. You said it yourself. Ardent Sensor coming in on the Karma, 30 extra attack damage whenever she shields the Kog'Maw. And when you've got a 5.0 attack speed, that's a lot of magic damage.
Yeah, and I think when you play these protect AD carry comps, it's actually where Rekkles really shines. He's a player who's always trying to be more aggressive in the way he's playing. He's always been talking about how he had to step up his early game and so on. But when he gets to play these scaling AD carries where you have a full team protecting him in fights, he really understands how to position, when he can hit someone, when he can't.
Yeah, playing around those cooldowns, knowing when they overextend, and now building one of my favorite items in the game ever. Not as much since the rework, but Gwinsu's Rage Blade. Every other auto attack is going to be that double stack for on-hit effects. And when you've got a Wit's End, a Blade of the Rune King, an Ardent Sensor, it's going to be an impressive amount of damage.
Really not a whole lot you can do as a tank against Rekkles at the moment. You need your Kassadin to try and get to the AD carry and kill him, but it requires YellowStar to get CC'd as well or be out of position.
Duskblade proccing on Spirit, taking a lot of damage, but the banner of commanded siege creeps make this nigh impossible for ROCCAT to stop, and it's just the slow bleed out in the end. You can see the team waiting for Rekkles to be exposed, but YellowStar not going to use that cooldown on anyone else. Waiting. Fizz finally going to use it. Parang only knocking one back to the wall, but Fnatic are going in. Memento shielded out and saved. Steelback firing shots left and right. Fourth one going to land on a Spirit. Three-man wall up, but Parang is going to drop, and Fnatic is making it look easy. That's so much damage. The Rage Blade triggers, and Rekkles goes off. The inhibitor falling. Fnatic moving into the base. Pressure is on for ROCCAT. One more team fight, one more chance to save the day, but Raze drops. Fnatic are cleaning up house. And for ROCCAT, this spells the end. They are relegation bound as Fnatic close out the first game.
Took them some time. 1 hour and 20-minute long first game. And they can be happy now. Except for some mistakes, I think overall